Purchasing consigned inventory. The objectives for this topic are as follows. After completing this lesson, you should be able to do the following. Describe the consignment agreement and consignment order. Review consignment agreement and consignment order lifecycle tracking pages. Review consignment order PDF. And describe procurement-related consigned inventory setup task. This topic will describe the consigned inventory process flow from making the consignment agreement to making the payment to the supplier. This diagram depicts the consigned inventory process flow. The same diagram and definitions were fully covered in the previous overview topic. The diagram is shown here again merely as a reference for the next several slides and discussion. Our next topic describes the creation of a consignment agreement. This screenshot shows how the consignment agreement establishes the terms and conditions governing the consignment agreement. Consignment agreement terms include the following. Aging onset point. The aging onset point indicates the point in fulfillment process, receipt, or shipment at which the consigned goods start aging. Aging period days. When suppliers consign goods to buying organizations, the expectation is that the buying organization will use them at a certain point in the future and subsequently pay for them. The supplier will allow the buying organization to hold the goods in a consigned state without using or paying for the goods only for a certain period of time, which is called the aging period. If the goods are not used within that aging period, then the goods are considered aged and the buying organization has to take ownership of the goods and pay for them. Consumption advice frequency. This term indicates the frequency, either daily, weekly, or monthly, at which the buying organization informs the supplier about usage of consigned goods through a consumption advice. The billing cycle closing date. This term indicates when the current billing period closes. The current billing period starts when the last billing period ends and extends up to the billing cycle closing date. After the current billing period ends, the buying organization generates a consumption advice and all consumption transactions created within this billing period will be included on that advice. The consumption advice summary. This term indicates how the consumption transactions are summarized on the consumption advice. For example, transactions can be summarized and displayed by inventory organization and items. Pay on use. This term indicates that the buying organization intends to perform self-billing for consigned inventory usage and generates an invoice automatically on behalf of the supplier. Default line is consignment line. This indicator will automatically default the line as a consignment line when creating the consignment agreement. This screen shows how the lifecycle tracking pages provides the capability for buying organization and suppliers to monitor usage of the consignment agreement throughout the fulfillment process. The agreement lifecycle shows agreement amount and summarized information from downstream execution documents such as amount ordered, received, delivered, and invoiced. This information is available for the entire agreement and its line items and gives the trading partner an at-a-glance information of the current state of the consignment process. This page can be found by navigating to Procurement, Purchasing, Manage Agreements, then the Lifestyle icon. Our next topic will now describe how the consigned orders are created. Here, we see how consignment orders can be created in response to requisitions for replenishment of consigned inventory originating from upstream products such as inventory management or from self-service procurement. These orders are released against the consignment agreements and existing functionality to limit orders issued to the amount limit on the consigned agreement, which will continue to apply. The consigned orderment line is a consignment line flag to indicate to the supplier that the item is ordered under consignment arrangement. The consignment order is used only to bring in the consigned items and is not used for billing consigned inventory used by the buying organization. The invoice match option on the order line is set to consumption advice because billing for the used consigned items is done against the consumption advice. Consignment orders can also be created without a requisition by referencing the consignment agreement on the consignment ordered issue. Lifecycle tracking pages are provided for both the consignment agreement and consignment order. This enables both the buying organization and supplier to monitor usage of the consignment agreement and consignment order throughout the fulfillment process. This screenshot example shows how the consignment order PDF which is generated indicates that the consignment lines should not be billed. The navigation to this document would be through Procurement, Purchasing, Manage Orders, and then the action of View PDF. Our next topic describes the setup for consignment terms on the supplier site page. Our screenshot here depicts the setup for consignment terms on the supplier site page. These terms can be set up optionally to default consignment terms onto the consignment agreement. The supplier site setup is performed within the supplier work area. To access this area, the navigation is to go to Procurement, Suppliers, Manage Suppliers, then Supplier Sites. Our next topic describes the purchasing setup task for purchasing consigned inventory. This table discusses purchasing consigned inventory setup task. Consignment terms can be set up to default on the consignment agreement. The Configure Procurement Business Function task. This is for consigned inventory related setups which include the aging onset point, aging period days, consumption device frequency, and consumption device summary for managing supplier sites. These are for consigned inventory related setups which include pay on use, aging onset point, aging period days, consumption device frequency, and consumption device summary. The Procurement Business Unit configuration setup is performed through the Setup and Maintenance work area. This is done within the Procurement offering, then under the Purchasing Functional area, and the task associated with the setup is called Configure Procurement Business Function. To summarize, in this lesson, we should have learned the following. Describe the consignment agreement and consignment order, review consignment agreement and consignment order lifecycle tracking pages, review the consignment order PDF document, and describe procurement-related consignment inventory setup task.